Hello everyone and welcome to this very first TouchDesigner Pops tutorial. I'm so happy to finally be able to share with you this kind of tutorial, to share with you new projects, tips, talks, and yeah, a lot of stuff. So yeah, you know, because most of my works are made thanks to Pops, so now I will be able to do more tutorials, more Patreon posts, and yeah, I'm really happy. Anyway, so I'm using this TouchDesigner build. You can use it on the derivative website. So you can find it here when you click to get it now, and then experimental downloads, and here you can find this the same build. Okay, so this particle system is quite basic because we're not gonna calculate particles collisions or stuff like this. Sorry. So we're just gonna see how the particles are born, they live, they die, and then they reborn. We're also gonna see and try to understand how the scaling of the particles evolves during the life, and same for the color. And at the end, we're gonna just see little camera trick and some post rendering to add the background and a bit of bloom. So yeah, let's start from a blank project. Let's first create a point generator. So this point generator creates a point cloud. During this tutorial, I will not explain every aspect of Pops, everything I know, because I want this tutorial to be very practical, playful, and I want you to record a beautiful video and to have fun with some parameters. In the next tutorial, we're gonna see much more like complex stuff, but now let's just have some fun, and I'm sure that you will find interesting techniques in this tutorials. So this point generator creates a sphere in my case with 10,000 of points, and the distribution is volume. I will keep volume. We can see that we have P and N here. It means that this operator is creating attributes for each point. If we middle mouse button click, we can see that we have the number of points, primitive, vertices, etc. and 2 points attribute, P and N. So P is the position in float 3 because we have 3 floats. One float value for the X, one float value for the Y, and one float value for the Z axis. And N represent the normal vector. But today we just gonna focus on the P attribute. And I want to create other attributes. As a human being, as an entity, I have different attributes like my age, my skin color, my hair length, all of these are my attributes, you know. My dates are attributes, I don't know, everything. So today we're gonna focus on the age attributes. So we're gonna declare some stuff. In some like code language, or if some of you already used Arduino, because I know that some TouchDesigner users already use Arduino, we're gonna work like this. So first we're gonna have a setup timeline, and then we're gonna have a loop. So the loop in TouchDesigner is basically just a feedback loop, okay? So during the setup, I will declare the initial age. So we're gonna call it init age. So let's increase a bit this now. Sorry, maybe too big, 2 pixels. Yes, perfect. Init age. So for everyone, the init age is 0 in this world. We're gonna also declare a max age. Max age will be, let's say 2 seconds for now. 2 seconds is not really 2 seconds for TouchDesigner. TouchDesigner is processing in frames, not seconds. So here we have 60 frames per second. So it means that the max age will be multiplied by 60. 120 frames. So each particle gonna have, it's so bad. So each particle gonna have a maximum age in frames, not seconds. And when someone is born, everyone around already has different age. So the age of each particle will be a random function a random value between the init age and the max age, right? Okay, and then the simulation of life starts. So we say that the age equals age plus 1, and we have to check after increasing the age if the point has to die or not. So we're gonna create an attribute called dead, and dead equals okay, it's not really equals, it's more affectation, sorry, like this, okay? So dead will be true if age is greater or equal to max age, right? We could say only equals to max age, but if I have any bug or lag in my computer and this condition is not checked, the age will be greater than max age. So I want to check if it's greater or equals to max age. Anyway, so if the age is greater to max age, then I have to kill the particle. So we have one action here, one action here, one action here. So if it's dead, then if it's dead, then the age gonna be init age otherwise the age is age. So if I'm not at my maximum age, I keep living, otherwise I die, obviously. So let's create this this algorithm with pops. Okay. Oof. I hope you guys can see clearly. Can we make this disappear? Yes, thank you. So all of this, init age, max age, age, let's underline them. Colors. So all of them will be attributes, okay? Dead will be attribute as well. Okay, let's go. So right click here and select attributes. Let's start with the init age. So we are in the new attribute block and then init age. So it will float one dimension because it's only one dimension. The age is just a value, a single value. So it's already at 0, so it's perfect. We can set the max age, but I want to play with the max age. Let's create a constant chop, okay, and set max age in seconds. Max age S for seconds. So now let's go here and drag drop chop reference. Okay. So we have the max age, but it's in seconds. We said that we want it in frames. So the value will be multiplied by 60, but we also need to do -1 because the initial age is 0 and 0 to 119 is 120 values, right? If we start at 1 here, yes, okay, we can go to 1 to 120, but we start to 0, so I do -1. So we have this, and now I want to randomize the age. So we create a random pop. We have different types of randomization. Let's keep the default one, and in the combine operation we see that we have add on P. So what it does here is that it adds random values between 0 and 1 to our P, which is the position of the points. If we increase this, okay, we can see that it's increasing. Anyway, so I don't want to do it on P. I want to do it on age. So let's write age. But we have an error here. It says that the input attribute is not found. Of course, because we have P, we have N, we created init age, max age. We can see all these different attributes here, but we don't see age. Age is not existing. So it's not add. Add and multiply only they need the attribute to add on it. So here we're gonna set a new attribute called age, and it appears here that we create this new attribute in this operator. So I want, oh, we can map. Sorry, I'm just discovering something. Okay. We want the value to go from init age, which is 0, to max age, which is 120. So we can go back here and do this. We could use maps, but I'm gonna explain maps in other tutorial, otherwise this one will be super long, okay? So yeah, now we will observe what we have. So chop to pop, pop to chop, sorry. So we're gonna check the init age, which is 0, max age 119, and here same, drag and drop, I'm gonna check age, and you can see that age is going from 0 to 119. If you want to be sure that it's 119, we can right click here, analyze, function maximum, okay? So minimum and maximum are 0 and 119. Okay. Let me see something. Okay. So what I did here is that I saw that, yes, by default, when I just do this, the minimum age is 0.00233, but I want to have entire number, int. So what I did is just go here, I overwrite the automatic attributes, and it was in float, and I select int. So now we only have int values, okay? Anyway, it's not very important, because the particles will die and then go back to 0, and then we're gonna apply +1. So it will be at the end only int, entire numbers. Anyway, so now we have everything. We can go in the loop. So let's add a null, then feedback, then null, and another null. Because here I will, like with the pops, same with the tops, sorry, we can drag and drop this null here. So now when the data flows in, it goes here and then go here, 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 like this, and it's a loop. So what I want to do now is to increase the age by 1 every frame, every loop. So there is lots of ways to do it, but we're gonna use it's maybe the operator you're gonna use the most with pops, mass combine. So in combine you have a lot of different operations, and these operations will be applied on the attributes we have. Sorry, I forget something. Keyboard in, feedback, start. Okay. Let's save the project. So yeah, what if now we press 1 keyboard, the feedback loop restart. Anyway, so we want to add +1 to the age. So we're gonna select A plus B. So it will be age +1, and the output will be age. This, okay? Nice. So let's try to observe it. Okay, it's increasing, right? If we press 1, it goes to the initial age, and then every point age is increased every frame. Okay, perfect. What we want to do now is to say dead when the age is greater or equal to max age. So let's add another operation after this one. So let's select A greater or equal to B. So if age is superior or equals to max age, then dead. Let's reset with 1, okay? So now we can observe the dead. Let's restart. Okay, I have a problem. It goes super fast. Let's increase a bit the max age. Okay, so we see when you start the simulation, let's pause the software and start simulation, that some of the particles, when we start the simulation, are already at the maximum age. So dead is, the dead attribute is at 1. So it means that some entities are already dead. But if we start the simulation, we can see that more and more are dying. Okay, so now we have 1 for every point on the dead attribute. It means that every point should be dead and reborn, because we are immortals, by the way. So let's add another operation. So it will be this one now, the if dead. So we have this operation here. So the result will be age, because it's the age that we are affecting here. So age will be A if C is true, but if C isn't true, then age gonna have the B value, okay, the B attribute or the B value. So it means that if we go here to understand correctly, so this result scope, let's call it RS, is the age, RS, okay? So if C is the condition, so C is dead. If it's dead, then A in our paint, if it's dead, then init age is applied to age. So it means that init age is A and age is B. So age is A init age if it's dead. If it's not dead, age is age. Okay? Let's reset and restart. Interesting. We can see now that the age is increasing, and when it goes to the maximum, then it goes back to the initial age. So it's like a reincarnation, you know? And we can see that all these events here going to 1 on the dead means that, yeah, it's dying, and then it goes to 0 cause reborn, okay? It's interesting, but I want a particle system that moves. So I want to add position to this. So in this feedback loop, we can add different operations. We can add transform like this, and if we translate, okay, you can see that it moves. It moves by 0.02 every frame. Okay, let's go back, reset. I want it to go back to the initial position, which is this one, when it's dead. So it's another condition we have to add in our math combine. So we need exactly like this. We need exactly the same thing, but with position. So if it's dead, then P, the position, gonna be init P. Otherwise, it will be P. Save the project. Yeah, let's go. We have a problem. Init P not found. So we're gonna input dynamically this position here inside of it, and we're gonna call it init P. So we're gonna add another null here, like this, and here we're gonna combine attributes. Attribute combine. Press pause before, because we're gonna add another attribute into the feedback loop. And the feedback loop doesn't like the fact that, so we inject an attribute, then the attribute will be looping, but with this operation here, we inject at every frame. So at the end of the feedback loop, we're gonna delete the injected attribute, right? So here, we're gonna delete init P. Very important to do it first, okay? And now we can connect this. Here we can see that we have in1 that inject every attribute. So this is input 1. And here, input 2, we're gonna inject P, but rename it to init P. And then we can restart. Aha! Interesting. Now it works. Our positions are moving, and then when it dies, it goes back to the initial position. But there is something weird. Do you see these patterns here? Like, it's like cycles, like oscillations, you know? Pum, pum, pum. And this is because on our point generator, we have a seed, and on the random, we have another seed, and they are at the same value. So I don't know exactly deeply how it works, but they should have different a different seed. So let's say that the random here to manage the age is 1.1. I reset the simulation, pressing 1, and yeah, now we have what we wanted first. Okay, so now we're gonna add some noise, because transformation, we can delete this one, sorry. Transform is cool, but I would like to have something more organic. Okay, so delete the transform. This is just after the attribute combine. Okay, this is just before the null 2, and between these two we can do whatever we want. So we're gonna add a noise. Okay, we can see the noise. We're gonna reduce the amplitude to maybe this kind of value. No. Yes, let's add a different seed here too. Okay, remember, even if it's not noticeable, I prefer to have different seed values for every generative or random operators. We have here the noise, so like chop noise or top noise, there is seed, periods, harmonics, blah blah blah, transform page, and we have more stuff here. I will explain these later again, because it will be super long. Same for the map. Map is very powerful, like it's so powerful. Anyway, we see that here we create a noise and then we add it to P, the position. So it's perfect, it's what I want, but there is different things we can add. Curl 2D, let's reduce the amplitude. So curl 2D is very beautiful. Look. Pretty, right? And curls 3D. So I think that maybe I'm wrong, I don't know, but I think that it represents the flow around the biggest noise value. I don't know if I'm clear enough. I think I don't have the physical or mathematical good words for it. Let's do something before, save the project, and let's try to increase the number of points and reset the feedback loop by pressing 1. So we can see here that we have our curled noise. Let's put the amplitude like this. Maybe we can increase the period. Yeah, okay. You see? Very beautiful. I love it. So yeah, this curl 3D creates kind of, very yes, organic, natural rotations and curling. Yes, curling simply. Let's animate this noise. You will never see with me a translation with don't do what I'm doing here, please. Honestly, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this. Don't use this. It's not easy to use. It's so complicated. Let's constant and then a speed. So it's the same, but instead of multiplying by a value like 0.1, and then I want this, it's annoying. So I want to reference this value here and here, up, simply like this. It means that every second the speed will be incremented by 0.1. So here now we have the animated noise. Okay, very nice. Save the project again in case. Now I want to render these particles as box. So we're gonna use less and less geometry instancing pages when you use pops, because we can do like we can use the same approach as copy sops, but now it's so well optimized for the GPU and CPU. But yes, pops runs on GPU. You can see the consumption of your operators here. So yeah, let's create box. Let's put the scale to 0. Right click, copy, and here drag and drop the second. We're gonna very gently increase the scale, because otherwise you can crash the software. Okay, connect it here. Let's display and right click, display backdrop geometry. Okay, so we can still increase the, so we can see that we have box, right? A lot of box. If it's too heavy for your computer, reduce the amount of point here and restart the simulation by pressing 1. Okay, not restart the simulation, but yeah, you understood the feedback loop. Anyway, I want now the box scale to be at 0 when the particle were born, and then get bigger to this value, and then fade out. Like I want the scale to decrease to 0 when the particle age is near to death. So in order to do this, I will use I want to do it in a visual way, because with the pops we are less and less visual. We're gonna use less and less visual TouchDesigner because we're using attributes, but a lot of us use tops mainly, so I want to use tops for this. So before the copy, I will add something called lookup texture, and it needs a top to work. So lookup texture work with tops, lookup attributes work with pops attributes, and lookup channel work with chops. Anyway, so I created the ramp top, and you can drag and drop it on the lookup texture. In this lookup texture, I will declare that the lookup attributes on the U and V will be the age, like this. You can write the age everywhere. Only one will be used, I think. The output will be point scale. I'm sorry if I take time between two sentences, because I didn't prepare this tutorial, so it's kind of live tutorial, you know. So yeah, the output will be the point scale, so it will be a new attribute, and we have the age. So I choose the round because I want it to be 0, the point scale to be 0, and then 1, and then 0. So we're gonna change the ramp behavior. So add point here, add the point here, and this one like this. So particles size will be 0, and then poop, 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 goes to 1, stay at 1, and then fade to 0. Okay, maybe we can directly here in the copy pop in template do this. We can see that some of the scales are different, but there is something weird. So the scale will be a function of this ramp and the edge, but I want the ramp to be at the same size of the maximum edge, because we are showing the scale during the life, and this is 0 and this is the maximum edge. We don't want anything on V. We don't want anything. We just want here to have the maximum edge value. So let's copy this one, max edge, and paste it here. And now you can see that it's coherent, like it's now the particles fade out, they born and they die. Oh yeah, okay. So you see that the death size is on the left part of the ramp. I mean, we can flip it, but it's okay, in my opinion. Do the particles born at 0 or not? Let's reduce the number of points. Oh yes. Okay. 0 and then 1 and then 0. Okay. So let's restart this. So now we have scale, box scale evolving according to the age of the particles. Perfect. Now I want it to evolve, I want the color to evolve with the age. So I will use a ramp again. Maybe we can just take the same, yes, take the same ramp. Let's do, remove this one, remove this one. Okay. And add a lookup. And here in the palette I have my, I love this component called color lover speaker. I mean, for tutorials it allows me to find quickly good colors. So I'm gonna use this one. I don't know, let's test it. So it will be the color when particle born, no, dead, and when they born. I mean, I don't know if this color would be good, honestly. This one is better. Anyway, sorry, I'm a bit tired, so I'm slow. Let's use a lookup texture again. Lookup texture. You can save your project. And here in lookup, drag drop, and here is the age, oops, and here the color. And yes, we can see that we have colors. Let me try something. Okay, it changes nothing. Okay, interesting. Anyway, So yeah, put age, and then color. So you can see that the color is evolving according to the particle age now. But here, the color is not applied. So we should go in template attributes, use template point attributes, and here select color. Nice. I mean, it's already beautiful. I love it. I really love it. But I don't want all the boxes to be in the same orientation. I want every box to be rotated and differently, you know? So to do this, we're just gonna use a random again, like this. And I don't want to randomize P because it's the default operation. I want to set something, a new attribute called rotation. I want the rotation to go from this to this, so it's 360 degrees. So we can check here that rotation is float, but I don't want a rotation just around the x-axis or y-axis or z-axis, or I don't want every axis to have the same rotation value. So here, if we click here, we can override the automatic attributes and then select float 3. So now we can see that rotation is float 3. Every it will be different, like, oh, I forget this, sorry. Okay. So here we can go back to templates and then rotation. Nice. Very, very nice. So we created our geometry. Don't forget that you can play with this parameter to manage the life. You can play with this parameter to manage the shape, number of point distribution. You can play with this parameter to change the noise aspect. And you can play with this parameter to change the noise animation speed. And obviously you can change the color, you can change the box scale. And yeah, that's it. Save your project, please. And now we're gonna focus on rendering. Nice. I'm gonna right click, display, and backdrop geometry. And now we're gonna add a camera, a light, and a render top. Finally. Put the resolution you want. I will put this one. Let's add a null. Let's see it. Right click, I transform, add one here to add a black background. So let's maybe decrease the box size and maybe do this. Okay. Okay. In the punch generator, I will just reduce the radius like this. Okay. So let's add. Oh, I forget something important. So we're gonna play with the phone, not PBR today, just the phone. And we're gonna move the camera a bit, the light, sorry. And I want to use to have shadows. So I'm gonna use soft shadows. If it's complicated for your computer, again, choose hard or off shadows. And if you use off shadows, you can bypass this copy, do this, and then use a point sprite and maybe do things like this. But yeah. Anyway, I will add shadows. Soft. I want the resolution X to be the same as this one. I don't know if it's X. I don't know. Honestly, speaking shadows, if we say X and Y. I like this this value every time, but maybe put something higher or lower. I don't know. Anyway, I want to add kind of sparkles. So in the form, reduce the diffuse and increase, yes, like this. So you can see that it starts to be pretty. I want to add some bloom to it, because let's put black level to 0. Okay. Radius to 0 as well. This is good like this. Yeah, okay. I like it this way. Maybe it's a lot. I don't know. We'll see. In the visual I show you, it's moving like this, and we're gonna focus on this effect right now. So we can see that it's moving, but the camera is moving at the same time, the background is moving. It's a bit weird. So basically what I do is that, let's observe in 3D what's happening. So we can see that we have, so I just clicked here, geometry viewer, like this. So we can see that our geo, and I'm gonna add in, before the feedback loop, before this null right here, I'm gonna add a transform. Okay, so you can see that if I move the transform, okay, particles move. All right. Okay, perfect. So I don't want to animate it with my mouse. I will add a noise chop. Change the seed. Time slice off, on, sorry, and change the channel's name to create TXYZ, so it creates 3 different channels. Increase the period maybe to 8, and amplitude to 4, so it will move far away, like to here, there. Okay, let's apply these parameters. And let's change the particle max age, reset. Okay. Okay, so now it's moving. It's moving, it's beautiful. But sometimes, because we have a noise with, yes, you see, because it has amplitude of 1, it will go out of the frame. So I want my camera to track this position here, and we can do it by using null comp. like this. This null is just an object in space. Here, when I select it, it's surrounded, highlighted in green. So what I can do is say that this translate value, oops, sorry, I broke it. I drag and drop it here and reference to translate. So we can see that the point now moves with the point cloud. So let's bring this null comp next to the camera, and now we can say to the camera, look at this null comp.
Look at my fingers.
No!
Hey, hey. And now it's working good. See? Okay, so now we're gonna focus on sorry, I'm so tired. On post render effect to add just the background. So same, we're gonna add a feedback here, like this. We're gonna add over operator, like this. We can close this one and drag and drop the over on the feedback so it loops, as you can see here. Okay, and I want to blur it. Okay, maybe let's increase a bit this. I want to lower the opacity. Post opacity. Okay, perfect. So it creates kind of, you know, yeah, just a blurry stuff between the particles. It's pretty. And then I like this moment, transform. And what I'm gonna do now is I will upscale a lot, so it will create, you know, we can see different kind of, you know, layers. And if you do it a lot, aha, you have a background that is bigger, but you can see in the background that you have another one that is more blurred. And yeah, I really like this way of doing things. But the background is a bit too, it's too much bright for me. And I don't want to lower the opacity here. Or maybe it's good. Yeah, it's good, it's good. Sorry. No, it's okay like this, it's perfect. But I think I don't have the same colors that I had in my tutorial in the first thing. I mean, it's okay, it's your colors, you do whatever you want with colors. So maybe we can reduce a bit this, increase a bit this, increase a bit this. Okay, it's nice. Honestly, I'm happy because I don't know how. Oh, it's 1 hour. Okay, it's long. I'm sorry for this long tutorial. I'm tired. I will try to cut the maximum during editing. But yeah, I'm happy to make you discover this wonderful tool. TouchDesigner works, Derivative works so good to create this, honestly. It's maybe infinite, I don't know. Pops are so fucking powerful. I have no idea how far it can go, because yeah, it's endless. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this long, very long tutorial, but now with these little explanations you can, yes, understand how the life works you can try to randomize the max age with the random operator tool to create variance. So you can do these kind of things. You can play with all these parameters we put in red. And yeah, that's it. I wish you beautiful day or beautiful night, and see you soon for new tutorials, more tutorials, and I hope shorter tutorials. Goodbye, bisous.